it's led to a lot of divorces because people get this attitude about, well, I'm right, and you have to come under mine. They can't see that there's no coming to an agreement or a halfway place or give and take. They say I'm right, you have to come under my rule or my way of thinking, and if you don't, well, then I don't have to do it.
In the first part of or verse 15 says, look diligently lest any man fail of the grace of God. That in itself talks about falling from that grace. You're failing in the grace that's there to help you by letting bitterness and stuff stay in your life. Grace is saying, get that out of your life. And you're saying, I'm holding on to it. Bitterness works against grace in your life. Grace is to help you to be undefiled, sanctified, holy to God, godly, righteousness, working in your life. Where bitterness is working against you to defile all that. Bring in resentment, bring in hate, bring in anger, bring in resentment, all unforgiveness, all those things to work against the grace of God. He said, you're failing the grace that's in you by letting those things control you. Get them out, and then grace will work in your life. We want to let grace just work in our life and let God just do a great thing. All those things work against the grace of God. It causes it to fail in your life. God's not going to work against your will. He's not going to save anyone against their will. So that failing of the grace of God, it's something that's not working in my life because I'm bitter. If you talk to someone that's like that, it's hard to get through to them. When they're angry about something and it's stayed there so long that it's festered, it's hard to get through to them. And Jesus himself, I think, was one that said that an offended brother is harder to win than a walled city. Right? So it's tough to get through someone that's bitter. God has to break that bitterness up, that poison up with love. And then bring them out of that. So our part is not getting to that point because it says that right there is one of the greatest weapons the devil uses. It says, many are defiled. The devil loves doing things to us in our life and causing bitterness to spring up us. He loves that. But sanctification takes you away from the devil's plan and puts you on the plan in the path of Christ, the path of righteousness. It foils the enemy's working in your life because you are working with the Holy Spirit in your life to say no to the things that are ungodly, to say no to the things that are evil. More now than ever. You have to say no a whole lot more to commercials. It's like saying, thank God for DVR, fast forward to the commercials. But when you look at our biggest sporting event, it's all about the commercials. Every year they built that up, and what do they get millions of audiences to look at? Oh, did you see that Coors Light commercial? That was so funny. Did you see that Budweiser commercial? That was the best. That was awesome. I mean, give us more Doritos commercials. Something. Not the things that are defiling to your life. If you look at it, what are the things that the enemy has set up to destroy your life? Those are the things that he's trying to bring in for defilement into your life. Defilement is unsanctified, it's unholy, it's unconsecrated for God. If I say that this bottle right here, whoever this is yours? Well, this is our bottle here. This bottle is now set apart for the use of sprinkling. So, if I now say that this is holy water, set apart for praying for people and sprinkling on whatever, well, I'm thirsty, and I start just drinking it, it's no longer the use that it was for. It's no longer set apart for that use. It's now become something to quench my thirst. In the same way, when you got saved, you were set apart for God. When you start walking in the things of this world, you're being used as a vessel for something that wasn't intended to be used for. But when you get rid of those things out of your life, it says you become a vessel sanctified and meet for the Master's use. You're set apart for Him. He can flow through that. In the same sense, many times, we take things in our life and we say, okay, well, this is my church life. I'm okay, but this part, I'm going to keep this margin in my life. You're sanctified and set apart for God, or else the devil's going to use you in different ways. Right. You have to make that choice in your mind that once I become a vessel for Him, He's flowing through my life. I'm set apart for God. I'm set apart for Him. And in this generations that we have upcoming, they're going to have to really make decisions for God. That they are set apart for God. They're not going to be defiled by the world. I don't care how many, whatever they got going on is the next craze. I don't care what the next craze is. They have to be determined that they're going to be set apart for God. Because things come in way earlier now than they did 10 years ago. Things come in through the TV shows, the commercials, the new pop stars, the new this and that is infecting America's kids with so much stuff. Some of the movies come out like The Conjuring, demonic to the core, and it's going to try to influence this generation. The next movie, whatever it may be coming out. Harry Potter came in and started teaching kids how to do spells and stuff and got them hooked into some of that. The Twilight series started coming in and started bringing in the same subtle spirit behind it. Now what's next? What's next? When you watch where the media follows, that's the direction that things start pushing. This world knows more than Christians know. The principles about if you train up a child in the way they're going, when they're old they won't depart from it. They have put so much into training people in this world. Right. In affecting how they're raised up. With the media, the games, they have every avenue covered. The books at school, the textbooks, the teaching, putting in people into the school system. They used to start with just the colleges, right? They started putting people in with the colleges and started teaching different mindsets. Now they went even further. Grade school, teaching things to 5-year-olds that shouldn't even be taught to 5-year-olds. Amen. So think about this. Our life now, as sanctification works in our life, this younger generation is going to have to learn it early. They're going to have to learn to listen to the Spirit of God. No matter if it looks nice on the outside, something may be really evil underneath.
And just like I've said all along, you know, I can't go out and associate with the people I work with that drink and do this and that I know that I can't do and remain safe. If I do, that's going to lead me.
Well, then when you have a stressed out day, instead of pray for me, it'd be like, that wine good.
Well, we had young people a few years ago with the attitude, well, I can go to a party. You know, some kid that was in high school age was going to a party. I go to the party and represent Christ there. You know, I'm going to go and talk to them about Jesus. Well, that may work the first time, at the first party. But sooner or later, that influence will take you over. You can't walk into the devil's territory and remain unscathed.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way, though. And I think that's part also another reason why Jesus sent them out to God sleep. Keep them from the evil of the world. He said, I'm not praying that you take them out of the world, but keep them from that evil. The Spirit of God, I believe, answers that prayer. And keeps people from that evil. We have to override the Spirit of God to indulge in the evil. Anyone else have anything to say? I know we talk about sanctification.